So, I've been away for the past couple days. I know it's been a while since I uploaded anything. Well, I'm not sure how long. I have trouble with time. But, having a minor anxiety attack right now. But I am trying to remain focused and fight through it. I've got stuff going on this week. Other than having an emotional breakdown video again, I am actually, I wanted to discuss some ways to help bring down anxiety levels. Usually when I get really stressed out, I either listen to music or sleep. I'm sure you've noticed that there's no music playing right now because I didn't want it to interfere with the video. But some of the stuff that I typically listen to is like Queen, System of a Down, usually just whatever I happen to have on my computer or my phone. I also have kind of a mental playlist that I go through sometimes. That is a bit more random. But yeah, I apologize. I know that this is kind of disjointed and, well, everywhere. But for me, this is what it is. There's this huge block of information that is between what I'm thinking and what I'm saying, and the more confused and anxious I get, the harder it is to push through. And so I tend to pause and stall a lot, and this has been a problem that frustrates a lot of people when they talk to me, because there are times where it takes forever to just get out the simplest things. And, you know, the more anxious and confused I get, the more difficult it is to do things. Simple things. The simplest processes suddenly become this huge ordeal that I just can't wrap my head around. And, you know, a lot of times it's hard to remain as composed as I am right now, as you've noticed in my previous videos. Sometimes it does help to just break down, to just let it go and let it happen. But can't just rely on that sort of release. And so, you know that there are a lot of different methods you could use. Like I said, for me, it's mostly music. And sometimes when I get too overwhelmed, the best course of action is to just pass out. If you find yourself in a situation where you're becoming extremely overwhelmed, take a step back and remember to breathe. It's very important. Try to focus on something. I mean, even if it's just, inhale, exhale. It's just it doesn't yield immediate results, but it does help. Just focus, try to relax, and calm down. And hopefully, if you're in a situation where you're going through this around people, that they understand. And when you have anxiety issues, it's very important to let the people you're interacting with know that it is an issue. Let them know that sometimes just being a person is difficult. The more information you're able to give beforehand, the better equipped they will be to be able to assist, or, they won't get as frustrated. Well, I say that, but even people who know about my issues do tend to get frustrated with me. I get frustrated with me. And I have to live with me. But, getting off topic, it will better prepare them for when this happens, so that they know you need space, you need a chance to collect yourself, to collect your thoughts, and try to organize it in a coherent, I want to say statement, but I don't think that's the word I was going for. We'll just run with that one. I tend to grasp for the closest words to what I'm trying to project, express, maybe. But if you can get close enough to what it is you're trying to say, it can make it easier to decipher. But you don't want to rush yourself, because that can cause even bigger problems. Try not to get too frustrated with yourself either. I mean, if you have these problems, just remember that they do not define who you are. They just happen to be a part of you. and reach out to others. I know it can be scary. I know it can be difficult, and I know it can be infuriating sometimes. But if you can develop some sort of network of people who understand, that they can help you through it. Sorry, my mind's going in 50 directions at once, so, but yeah, it doesn't make you weak to need help. I know that it feels that way sometimes, but when you need help, you need help. I mean, I know exactly how difficult it is. There's a long list of people who have gotten upset at me for not trying to reach out. I try in my way. It's not always obvious, but, well, it's rarely obvious, but I do try in my way. I try to make it obvious that I'm having problems, and sometimes what seems obvious to me at the time is extremely subtle to others. And that's nothing against them, because they're not going through it. I mean, you get people who don't understand, who tell you to, tough it out, suck it up, push through it, and they don't understand it. And because of that lack of understanding, they don't know how hard it can be to do so. And, that might be their way of trying to help. It's not helpful when you get that kind of response, but, they mean well, usually. But, ow. Find your coping mechanism. Find what it is that calms you down. Be it music, be it reading, be it drawing, be it, playing, games on your phone. Just let those who, let the people you're around know that you need to center. You need to take a moment to collect yourself, collect your thoughts, so that, to put it crudely, so that you can person again. part of the reason why I'm doing these videos is to help with my communication skills. I'm hoping that it will make it easier to discuss this with my friends and family. Like I said, I have stuff going on this week. This Friday I have an appointment with out loud. I don't know if he's a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but I'm doing vocational rehabilitation. And part of the process, because I have psychological issues, is I need to get an evaluation. And the best way I can describe psych evals is a tightrope act with no safety net underneath you, because you don't want to you don't want to hold onto the mask too tightly, especially if you need help. You don't want to make it seem like you are you don't want to come off as someone who is trying to use the system just so that they don't have to go through any other means, while at the same time you don't want to come off as too far gone. When I was in Washington, I went through several psych evals to get assistance, mostly food stamps, and Medicaid. Every time I had to reapply, they had me see someone to evaluate my issues. It is a very stressful process. It's a series of questions to get an idea of your ability to process the information that you are given. And I'm not sure what tells they look for. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the stuttering problem I get is probably a good indication. But I've also also got memory recall issues as well, which is something that I had been tested for in previous psychedels. They asked me, or they gave me a list of things to remember at the beginning, then went through the rest of the test, and then asked me what the things were at the end. I lost that thought. But anyway, the psych evals that I did for assistance were a lot better than the one that I did for trying to get on SSI. I only tried to apply them once, and I know that you're supposed to keep at it. You know, it's a process. You get denied, and you reapply, and you get denied, and you reapply. But the guy that the SSI office sent me to, he basically just looked at me, looked at the information that I had given him, and his exact words were that I went to therapy for mental masturbation, basically. I'm not 100% sure what he meant by that, but the general sense was that he thought that I went to therapists and psychiatrists and whatnot just to screw around, which is not it at all. I actually learned how memories are formed from a therapist. The last one I went to before moving and difficulties and stuff. But what she told me, and this is something that I did my level best to commit to memory, is that the way memories are formed is they start in the back of the brain, they work their way forward to be stored. When you are in fight or flight mode, high stress situations, basically that area shuts off so that you can react faster. When you have, in my case, PTSD, where you are almost always in fight or flight, it's very difficult for that area of the brain to turn back on. And so it becomes very difficult to form the memories that you need, both short and long term. Anywho, I've been rambling for the past half hour, and I apologize for that. Don't know if it helped you. Really not sure if it helped me, but part of me feels that this is helpful. And you know, I don't know how often I'm going to make these videos, but I do intend to try to keep going with it. as kind of a personal therapy sort of thing. I think it's very important for me somehow to be able to communicate, even if it is simply to a camera. So, that said, thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful or, at least slightly amusing, feel free to hit like. If you think this can help someone else, feel free to share it. But all that said, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care.